This is the word of God. Kindly share after you're done watching. Have you ever been to a wedding? Of course you have. Who doesn't love a good wedding? Good food, good music, dancing, and the company of friends and family. It's always a good time. But sometimes there's a little bit of a problem. Sometimes we run out of something crucial like, I don't know, wine. Oh boy, that can put a damper on things. Now imagine this. You're at a wedding, everything's going great, but there's no more wine. What do? You call your friend Jesus. That's right. This is the miraculous story of how Jesus turned water into wine. As told by John 2 verses 1 to 11, one of the wedding guests, Jesus' mother Mary, said to him, "They have no more wine." Now his hour had not yet come. So he said to her, "Woman, what does your mean to me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Whatever he says to you, do it." Now there were 6 stone jars standing there, each holding about 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Draw some out now and take it to the master of the feast." So they did. But when the master of the feast tasted the water that had become wine, and he did not know where it came from, although the servants who had drawn the water knew, he called the bridegroom and said to him, "A fellow has made all your guests happy. He has saved the best till now, for he has given us water and wine, and this is the second marvel that he has done. For at the first turning the water into wine at Cana in Galilee, he manifested his glory, and his disciples believed in him. It was customary for weddings to last for 7 days, and for each day there would be an abundance of wine. Apparently, this particular wedding at Cana in Galilee was short one key ingredient, wine. And not just any wine, mind you, but good wine. Because back in those days, wine was basically like soda pop. It was served with every meal and was perfectly safe to drink. Now, this was a big problem because having bad wine or no wine at all could bring bad luck to the couple, according to Jewish tradition. You see, the absence of wine was a bad omen since the main ingredient of wine was the blood of the grape. To have no wine at a wedding was like wishing death to the marriage. So Mary, who was there at the wedding with Jesus, noticed that the supply of wine was running out. She tells Jesus, "They have no more wine." Now, Jesus didn't immediately spring into action. See, even though this wedding was in full swing, Jesus' ministry hadn't started yet. He was still living the life of a carpenter, helping out his mom and dad. And so he responded to Mary, saying, "Woman, what does your mean to me? My hour has not yet come." Now, when Jesus calls Mary a woman here, it's not like he's being disrespectful or anything. Back in those days, it was common for people to address their parents with honorific terms. So son would call his father, "My lord," and daughter would call her mother, "My lady." Even in English, we have mom and sir and ma'am, which evolved from my mother and my master. So really calling his mother woman was actually a term of endearment. Mary understood that it was time for Jesus to start his ministry. So she told the servants, "Whatever he says to you, do it." And that's exactly what they did. They asked Jesus to turn water into wine, and he said, "Fill the jars with water." Now, these jars weren't used for holding wine, but they were pretty big. Each jar held about 20 or 30 gallons of water, so imagine filling up 6 giant plastic balloons with water. That's how much water these jars held. Anyway, Jesus told the servants to draw some of the water out and take it to the person whose job it was to collect the wine. That guy was called the master of the feast. And when the master of the feast tasted the water that had become wine, he was totally oblivious to the miracle. He thought that the wine had just come from somewhere else. But the servants who drew the water knew what had happened. So the next day, when the master of the feast realized that the water had turned into wine, he called over the bridegroom and said, "Hey, this is awesome. Someone here has turned water into wine. This fellow has made all your guests happy. He has saved the best till now, for he has given us water and wine. And this is the second marvel that he has done, for at the first turning the water into wine at Cana in Galilee, he manifested his glory, and his disciples believed on him." Thanks for watching, and remember to keep following for more Bible history. May God keep blessing you.